Today's lesson will be on how to defend against the four-move checkmate. The four-move checkmate is often called scholar's mate, and I want you and your child to know how to defend against it. I want to emphasize that I do not want your child to play scholar's mate. The four-move checkmate is not playing good chess, but it is something that players will often use against inexperienced players in order to achieve a quick win. Our goal is to help your child become a better, more effective chess player, so I want them to learn how to defend against the four-move checkmate so they don't lose to it in a tournament or against their friends. At the beginning of a chess game, there are three pawns that guard the king. This pawn is guarded by the knight, by the bishop, by the queen, and by the king. This pawn is guarded 4 times. This pawn is also guarded 4 times by the knight, by the bishop, by the queen, and by the king. That is true here as well. The pawn in front of the king is defended 1, 2, 3, 4 times. This pawn is also defended 1, 2, 3, 4 times. The pawn on the F-file, this pawn right here and this pawn right here, is only guarded once by the king. This pawn is only guarded once by the king. That's why we call this pawn on the F-file for both black and white the weak pawn. One way to remember which pawn is the weak pawn is that it's on the F-file we call him Foolish Freddy. The reason we say foolish is because moving Foolish Freddy as a first move can also have white fall prey to a 2-move checkmate we call Fool's Mate. If white moves Foolish Freddy and black makes a good move, moving to control the center, and then white makes another bad move, moving the side white pawn, then the queen comes out here and checkmates. That's called Fool's Mate. Very few people fall prey to Fool's Mate because nobody's that foolish. However, a very common checkmating trick is the 4-move checkmate called Scholar's Mate. Usually white plays the 4-move checkmate, but black can play it as well. This is also an attack on Foolish Freddy. Now I'm going to show how it looks without moving any of black's pieces, and then I'm going to show you how to defend. White will move a center pawn, and then they move out the queen or the bishop. Queen takes, and that's checkmate. The queen is checking the king can't move, and the queen is guarded by the bishop. So the king cannot take because by the rules of chess the king is not allowed to move into check. So that is checkmate. Now let me show it when black has a turn to move. This is how it looks in the game. White moves. Black also moves a center pawn. These are good first moves. White moves the queen out. Now, moving the queen out on the second move is a terrible, terrible idea. You do not want to bring out the queen in the opening. So if your opponent brings out the queen, bells should go off in your head, ding, 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 that they're going to try Scholar's Mate. The queen is attacking Foolish Freddy. Okay, so maybe black brings out their knight, white brings out their bishop, black brings out their knight to attack the queen, and boom, checkmate. That's how it goes pretty often in a tournament. White moves the center pawn, black moves the center pawn. Good for black. Queen moves out. Black has bells going off in their head. Ding, 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 ding. Scholar's Mate is coming out. The queen is attacking 2 pawns right now. Foolish Freddy and this pawn. So a lot of kids want to move up and attack the queen. The problem with this move is that the queen then comes over and takes this pawn, checking and attacking the rook. This is not checkmate. Bishop comes and blocks, but then the queen gets the rook, and the queen is going to get the knight as well. Okay? So that's not exactly what you want to do. However, this is a move you will want to make. But what I say with kids is when you're going to go outside and you want to put on your shoes and socks, you do not put your shoes on and then your socks, because then it's really hard to get your socks on over your shoes. This is the shoes. You've got to put your socks on first. Here's putting on your socks. Before you move this pawn here, you need to protect this pawn. And you protect it by making a good opening move, bringing your knight towards the center. This knight comes out and protects. Now the queen cannot take, because if she takes the pawn, then the knight takes the queen. Okay? So the queen will not take. If they do, big mistake, you get the queen. But the bishop comes out. Scholar's mate is not yet over. Okay? You've got your socks on. Now put on your shoes. Now attack the queen. Here. Attack with the pawn, because as we showed you, if you attack with the knight, you still get checkmated. You need to boot this queen off the square by putting on your shoes. Queen comes back to here. It's still not over, because she's still attacking Foolish Freddie. But black can make a really good move by bringing out their knight towards the center, blocking the queen. Now the queen can't take, and Scholar's mate is over. One other thing, however, I want to show you. White might make a different kind of move. When you boot the knight, boot the queen, if she comes back here, black has another trick up their sleeve. If she comes back here, you bring out your knight. But if she comes back here, black can move their pawn up to attack the bishop. Bishop takes pawn, and bishop takes queen. And that's why you don't bring your queen out too early, because you will lose your queen.